Imagine, chums, going to a wedding and the world's eyes are upon you. And when you think about it, that was the, well, thing for the poor couple in many respects who, yes, they're part of the royal family, yes, it's expected.
One photograph, widely circulated, universally discussed. Prince William at a royal wedding leaning in to place a brief kiss on Princess Beatrice's cheek. The headlines followed within hours. Reconciliation, warmth restored, the frost between William and his cousins thawing in a single public gesture. A sign journalist wrote that the tensions inside the family were easing. There is just one problem with that reading. It is wrong. The kiss was real, the moment happened, but what it meant, what it was not, and what the people closest to this situation understand it to represent is almost the opposite of what the coverage suggested. And to understand why, you need to understand what was missing from that picture. The wedding itself, what was there and what wasn't. The wedding was, by most accounts, a beautiful occasion. The setting worked. The guests, for the most part, looked wonderful. Princess Anne in particular, effortlessly elegant in a way that makes everyone around her look like they are trying too hard. Catherine, as always, understood the room. She dressed to compliment rather than compete. She knew whose day it was, and she conducted herself accordingly, which is at this point simply what Catherine does, but is worth noting because the contrast with other approaches to royal weddings is not subtle. The absences were noted. Prince Andrew was not there. This generated coverage as if it were surprising. It is not surprising. Andrew has been effectively removed from royal life and the events that mark it. That situation has not changed and is not going to change. But there was another absence, quieter, less commented upon, more revealing. Before the wedding, ahead of Eugenie's recent announcement of a new arrival, there was no photograph, no statement, no warm public acknowledgement from William and Catherine of the forthcoming edition Taons. Oh, the family. The kind of gesture that, in a functioning family, happens automatically. That requires no thought and no calculation. That is simply done. It was not done. And then came the wedding and the brief, careful public kiss on the cheek. What the kiss actually was. Here is the thing about a public gesture made by someone as precise and deliberate as William. He does not do things accidentally. He does not lean in for a casual public moment without understanding exactly how it will be read and exactly what it is communicating. The kiss was not a sign that the ice had melted. It was not a declaration that the relationship between William and his cousins has returned to something warm and uncomplicated. It was an acknowledgement, a minimum, the baseline courtesy that a family gathering, a wedding surrounded by cameras and the world's attention requires from the future king of the United Kingdom. It was what needed to happen in that moment, done with the precision of a man who knows how every gesture will be read and who chose to give exactly what the occasion required and no more. Sources close to William are clear on this. There is still, as one description put it, a deep frost. It has not thawed. The wedding did not change it. A brief kiss at a public event does not undo the accumulation of things that created the chill in the first place.
But of course you do sort of feel sorry for them because everything's dissected. Well, most of them, in my opinion, look terrific. I actually did think, though, Her Royal Highness the Royal Princess Anne looked particularly sort of, gorgeous in that lemon affair and the flowery dress.
Why the frost exists. The specific reasons. Let's be clear about what is actually driving William's position on Beatrice and Eugenie, because it is more specific than general family tension. There is the Montecito dimension. Eugenie has made visits, been supportive, maintained a relationship with Harry and Meghan in a way that William, who is acutely aware of every association and its implications, has noticed and logged. There are things that came to light, things that were, according to sources, supposed to remain private, that William believes were not kept as private as they should have been. The precise nature of those things is not fully in the public domain, but the consequence of them is visible in exactly how William operates around his cousins. And there is the broader question, one that William asks, apparently quite specifically about the princesses, of what value they bring. They carry royal titles, they enjoy the privileges that come with proximity to the crown, but the work that justifies those privileges, the engagements, the charities, the public-facing service, is, by William's assessment, inconsistent at best. Andrew lost his titles. It happened. The machinery that everyone said would prevent it did not ultimately prevent it. And William, who is building his understanding of what the monarchy needs to be going forward, is applying that lesson to every corner of the institution. If Beatrice and Eugenie believe that a brief moment of public warmth at a wedding has settled the question of where they stand with the future king, they have misread the situation significantly. The Harry and Meghan dimension. There is one more layer to this story that adds a particular irony. Eugenie has been one of the more loyal figures in Harry's life through everything that has happened. She has visited, she has maintained the friendship in ways that others have not. She has been, by various accounts, genuinely supportive. And now, as the Sussex brand faces its own difficulties, as the association with Andrew and Fergie makes Eugenie a complicated figure to be publicly linked to, Harry and Meghan have, by all accounts, created some distance. Not dramatically, not with a statement or a falling out, just the quiet, gradual withdrawal that happens when an association becomes more liability than asset.
She does really get it right, doesn't she? Without sort of all the fuss and fanfare that everybody looks upon. We've got chums everywhere. I know. It's frightening, isn't it, to think? I always think it's great because wherever anybody else is sort of saying they're watching from, it always sounds far more glamorous than where I am.
Eugenie has noticed. She feels, reasonably, given the loyalty she extended, that Harry could have offered something, not necessarily a public statement, not a defense of her father, simply some visible acknowledgement that the friendship is real and the support is mutual. It has not come. And so we have a situation where Eugenie is managing the aftermath of her father's disgrace, a complicated relationship with William, and a friendship with Harry that appears to be quietly cooling precisely when she might most have needed it to be warm. The palace world, on days like a royal wedding, looks composed and functioning. The pictures are beautiful, the dresses are discussed, the brief kiss is analyzed. The reality behind all of it is considerably messier. William's position going forward. William is not done with this particular calculation. He is, if anything, in the early stages of applying it more consistently. The question he is asking about Beatrice and Eugenie: what value do they add? What do they cost? What does their presence in the royal landscape require the institution to absorb? Is not a question that has been answered by a wedding kiss. It is a question that will continue to be answered by what happens in the months ahead. By whether the princesses demonstrate the kind of consistent, committed public service that justifies their position. By whether the complications surrounding their parents generate further damage that the monarchy has to manage. By whether the things that are currently believed to have been shared when they should not have been, shared in ways that reached people they should not have reached, prove to have had consequences that William has not yet fully acted on. He is a man with a mission. That is not a phrase I use lightly about him. And if I were in Beatrice or Eugenie's position, I would not assume that the story of their relationship with the future king was settled by a moment at a wedding. It is not settled, not even close. One photograph, one brief gesture, millions of words written about what it meant, and underneath all of those words, a reality they sent. The image did not capture and the coverage did not convey. The frost is still there, the calculation is still running, and the man at the center of it, precise, deliberate, long-memoried, is watching everything. Drop your thoughts below. Do you think William is being too hard on his cousins? Or do you understand why he is where he is? Like the video if it gave you the picture behind the picture. Subscribe if you want the version of events that goes past the photograph. Take care. See you very soon.